Hi, we're the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Marie saying you. Thank you for taking a KDrama coffee break with us.
We are KDrama fans just like you, and this is our top list that is very near and dear to our hearts. It is our top list of KDrama lead actresses over the age of 40. Starting with number 5 on my list, Kim Hee-sun. Pretty much, I know she has a very, very long filmography, but Tomorrow and her massive, amazing pink hair is the whole reason that I adore her, right? She and Tomorrow, everything about that character just called to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. And her hair, I mean, I think I, at one point was like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever laid eyes on. And it was, I mean, she's still a beautiful woman with dark brown hair. I'm not saying it, but that pink hair, there was something about it that was so dynamic for me that I was just completely drawn in. And the character was amazing. And she has a long list of many, many other roles, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I felt like, based on what I know of her, it's a little bit of a different role. Tomorrow was a little bit of a different role for her. And maybe that's why I was so drawn to it.
I think what we like about our list is there's so many makjangs starring women over 40. And so, like, I remember her in Women of Dignity, but roles like Tomorrow are just so much more interesting and so much more fun. And, you know, with Rowoon and Lee Soo-hyuk, it's just like,
I mean, listen, when one like Kim Hee-sun gets to play romantically against Lee Soo-hyuk, thank you. Thank you. It was delightful. Their tragedy, their angsty, their other fights. It was so good. And she also was an Alice, which was probably my first big thing that I noticed. And I really, I enjoyed her in it. Like, there was the whole concept of the original character in Alice I really liked. And then it went down this weird rabbit hole of mother-son weirdness.
Yes.
That I had to jump out. But I liked her a lot in it. Yeah. Like, I liked her character. I liked her. So she's definitely one that I feel bad saying this, but she's new. She's new to my must-watch list.
So number 5 on my list is Kim Hyun-joo, who I guess broke out huge in 2002 with a drama called Glass Slippers, which we will not be watching. Cinderella. But I think the first time I really noticed her was in Watcher.
Yes.
Her chemistry with everyone in that, you know, as this kick-ass lawyer who comes in, she just, you noticed her. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, because we started watching around 2016, there are a lot of significant actors and actresses who we just hadn't seen a lot of. But like, when she stepped on screen, I'm like, oh, got to pay attention to her.
She's just such a powerful force, right?
Yes.
Like, she just arrives and you're like, yes, what is happening? Go.
And then Undercover with Ji Jin-hee, she was so good in it. As someone who's put in this government position, but as usual, there are forces working around her, and then the mystery of who her husband is. But it was about this family, this really great family. And that just felt age appropriate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one I definitely recommend. And then Hellbound. When she's on screen, her presence is just, she's compelling, and I really like her.
All right. My next one is Lee Young-ae from Inspector Q. Yes. She's another one that her filmography is all very dramatic. Mm-hmm. And very romantic, mm-hmm. and very traditionally, you know, female lead, right? Mm-hmm. So I haven't watched a lot of her dramas, but Inspector Q, I loved her so much. Mm-hmm. She was a hot mess from beginning to end, and I appreciated that so much. So much so that made that weird, like, not weird, but that hilarious, like, meta cameo of hers.
Oh, at the end,
as the pulled together version of her, what everyone's used to her in, was so perfect. She was smart, and she was funny, and she was messy, and she was, you know,
drank
angry.
A lot, and then she'd get physical, and then just be like exhausted, like, I can't believe I ran. Yeah. She was like, we're like, yes.
There's just so much to love about her. I think that's what it boils down to, especially for these, as you just said, like the women actors over 40. Like, I love to see them play roles that are sadly non-traditional over 40. roles. And so that's probably most of my list, is that they play something, not just your standard romantic lead or just the mother or just the wife. Like, that's what we really love here on our channel. And so there's just those roles that pop out that you're just like, oh yes. And that's the Inspector Ku one is definitely a big one.
My number 4 is Go-hyun Jung. She became a massive hit with Queen Sunduk. I loved her in Dear My Friends. She had been out of K-dramas for a little while, lots of personal issues. You can Google that separately. But Dear My Friends, with just a stellar cast of actresses and older actresses, but she played the daughter, and I just felt her so much. Like, how do you balance your mother and all of your aunts and, you know, your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, love of your life, who's in another country, and it's just, she's so good in it. But the one, oh my God, Reflection of You. This show had me and so many other friends just obsessed. It was, I mean, it was a makjang, but it was just so intricate, and the emotions and the affairs were just, I'm like, oh, it was so freaking juicy. It was so good. So in Reflection of You, she's married to Chae Won-young. She's had an affair with Kim Jae-young, and she's up against Shin Hyun-bin, who used to be her best friend. And it is so juicy, and the way they weave the backstory, it was just, because the first couple episodes, I'm like, why am I watching this? And my friends were like, no, stick with it. And there's a reveal at the end of episode 2. I'm like, oh, my mind has been blown. It was so addictive, so addictive. I loved her in it. I loved her.
All right, my number 3 is yet another fellow Virgo, which always makes me very happy. And we're the same year Virgo, so she's Chingu, which is awesome. It is Kim Hae-soo, who again falls in that category of strong women doing roles that most women over the age of 40 are not like seen in. And Hyena really was the benchmark for me.
Oh my God.
And I mean, we say this almost every time we mention Hyena. I hated her in the first 2 episodes because she was so awful. And then I fell for Kim Hae-soo's character so hard that it just became one of our all-time favorite shows.
Yeah.
Jung Geum-ja is just, she's just iconic.
Right.
And her tracksuits and her phone.
Yeah. And I mean, she's just, what you get at the beginning is not who she is. And so when it flips, you're like, oh, I see.
And just the whole scene when Joo Ji-hoon's character realizes what's happening, and the whole, like, you're, even as an audience member, you're like, what is going on? It was just so, the reveal was so well done. And it was so good. But I would say the first thing that I saw her in was Signal.
Yes, Signal. Huge drama.
Huge drama. I liked it. Her character was a little, I mean, the flashbacks was a little mousier. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't seem like a natural fit for me, for her. But her present day Signal character, I thought was really strong, and I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she made a cameo in Dr. Romantic Teacher Kim there at the end. And that was dynamic.
I was disappointed when she wasn't in season 2.
Yes, so was I.
Yeah.
They're getting ready for a season 3, so hopefully she'll come back.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see that.
Right?
Yes.
Like, that was some poppin' something. I don't know what you want to call it, but I really dug it. And then she did Juvenile Justice, which was very, very popular. People really dug it. I did not catch it. I haven't watched it yet, but they say it was another amazing performance of her. But again, a judge. And now she's about to do The Queen's Umbrella. Like, she's the queen of like what, 3 or 4 sons, and she's got to like get to the throne. Like, that's just Chosun era like politics. Please, she's gonna crush it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, Kim Hae-soo, like, she's badass. We love her.
My number 3 is Gong Hyo-jin. When I first saw her in The Master's Son, I did not know how great she was.
Right.
And then I slowly understood, and all of the characters she was playing in that, I was like, oh, she's very good. So yeah, she is. And then I saw her next in It's Okay, That's Love with Joan Sun. She's so good in that. I guess up with Sung Dong-il as both psychiatrists. And she's just so relaxed and comfortable in her own skin, and so smart and so talented and so beautiful. And I love her. she also obviously won the Camellia Blooms, biggest K-drama.
That was huge.
So huge. And just her character of a single mother was a bit of a game changer, I guess. But yeah, her next one is Queen of the Scene with Park Ha-sun. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. But she's just consistently at the top of her game.
I would say, and the first one that I saw her in was Jealousy Incarnate.
Oh, Jealousy Incarnate. Yes. Yeah.
And I fell hard for those two.
Yes.
Like hard. Really hard. Really hard.
They were really good
They were
together.
really, really good together.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, their chemistry was amazing. Their witty banter was amazing. Like, it was just watching two powerhouse actors just kind of just take over the space. And it was just, I loved them in that. My number 2, also a fellow Virgo. Are you guys sensing a little bit of a theme in my choices? When it comes to the women and they're Virgos, I'm like, I love you. EL. EL for me is like, I have a friend who's a personal trainer and she calls them creeper workouts, where you do them and it just feels fine. Like, you don't really notice that you did them. And then like the next day you're like, oh my God, I can't walk. So she's like a creeper actress to me. I've seen her in so many things that I don't really realize that I've seen her in so much, but she's so consistently good. And when I see her, I'm so happy to see her that she's just one of my favorites. Like everything from Korean Odyssey, where she was just the assistant, to Goblin, where she was God, and that red suit. Right. And then, you see her and then she's in Matrimonial Chaos. So she has this role, lead role
so good.
with Son Suk-koo.
Right.
Like, it was just like, she just kind of populates so much area that I didn't even realize how much of her stuff that I've watched and enjoyed until we started like putting together this show. I mean, I just adore her. And then she was in Love and Leashes. And
That's right.
And she was in, we saw What a Man Wants. Not a great film, but she was really fun in it.
She was.
But she always plays these characters that have like deep insight, like well-earned deep insight, right? And I really enjoy that about her.
Her body is like so yoga well-toned.
Yeah.
But there's something about her as well that's really well-toned. Like, it's just, she's also very consistent. Like, in her role, she doesn't stray. Like, she really creates these specific characters, not to get to like actor wonky, like I don't know what I'm talking about, but like in Goblin, so specific. Yes. Yeah. And then of course,
my Liberation Notes.
My
God, right? Her Young Ki-jung was just a hot mess from the get-go. And we adored her.
Yeah.
Like, she went on took us on this whole journey of a woman that was looking for one very specific thing. And that was just to have someone that she could, grow old with, right? But she had like this huge fantasy of what it actually was, and reality is completely different. And the journey that she took us on, that you completely believe that a woman that would look like EL would have any problems whatsoever, ever. But she took you on this journey of like with the boss, and then the friends, and the sister, and then the boyfriend, and then the guy that she ends up with, and like just all of that.
So, but she was a complicated woman, right? And that's what we loved about her, because she could not stop herself from talking,
God bless.
Which got her in so much trouble. But yet she was also innocent in her approach and her belief about what a relationship should be or how you should treat somebody else. Yeah. So she just, that character was so compelling.
It really was. Like, I loved her whole bit where she was like, why would I play hard to get? Like, that's just being mean. Like, why would I do that? Why would I hurt someone's feelings like that? Like, she was just so innocent. Like, that was kind of the core of it.
But then her relationship with her brother and her sister, oh my God.
It was such a sibling relationship.
It
was so amazing.
The way, like, that scene, or they did it a number of times, where she would get on or off the train and see Lee Min-ki, her brother, and they would just like barely acknowledge each other and just walk in silence home. like just paces apart. Right. Like, not even together. Like, I don't even know you. Yeah.
So, I mean, EL is just, she's just one of those that we just adore.
My number 2 is Son Ye-jin. I know that for so many of you, your first drama was Crash Landing on You.
Right.
And man, she set the bar high for you.
So high.
I'm not sure where you went after that. I think her first place I really noticed her was A Moment to Remember. What year was that? It's with Jung Woo-sung.
Was 204.
2004. I did not watch it in 2004. But she has early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh, God.
And Jung Woo-sung loves her so much. She's the bad boy, builder architect
As
in
one is.
in a t-shirt. Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
This movie, it's referenced so many times because it just breaks your heart. You're just in tears over and over. It's so good. It's just so good. But that's why when she came back later with Something in the Rain with Jung Hae-in, you were like, yes, she deserves Jung Hae-in.
Yes.
Right? And even though it got really weird at the end.
Ending was terrible. But that, up until then, do you remember when everybody lost their minds? Because I think that was the weekend that Drama Fever went down.
Oh, no. Was it?
And I wasn't that weekend. I just remember like everyone was scrambling trying to find like the last couple of episodes.
Oh my God.
It was such a challenge. Yeah.
The way that show rolled out, how
Right.
Netflix held it, and oh my
such
gosh,
a mess.
it was just
Everyone was just yelling all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was ugly, but it was so good.
So good. It was so good. And I have to say, I think one of my most favorite Korean films is Be With You. So that's Son Ye-jin and Soji Sub, which I cannot recommend enough because it is charming and there's time travel and she's this great mom, but she's a great girlfriend. And it's just like
magical.
It is magical. Magical.
It
So,
is.
yeah.
And speaking of magical, she's also in a really wacky one called Spellbound with Lee Min-ki.
That's right. It is wacky.
A lot of fun.
It is
I
wacky.
really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Like she's just, and then she was in the Pirates again. Kim Nam-gil.
Kim Nam-gil.
Kim Nam-gil is everywhere. And you can't forget the negotiation where everything started it all.
With Hyun-bin.
Do you remember that scene at the end when they were finally in the same room together and we were like, that was hot. Can we have that for an entire movie?
I know. And then Crash Landing on You. And then they get married and now they're having a baby. It's so crazy. I know. It's like the shippers
right.
in all of us have been fulfilled. Like you
Fulfilled.
can't get more K-drama
You
love
cannot.
than that.
Two of the biggest names in HYUN.
Right.
Which is what's amazing about that whole story.
I
It's
know.
fantastic.
We love that they're in love.
Right? And my number one is JANG NARA. Mostly simply because A, she was in a drama called VIP with Lee Sung-yoon, who's my absolute favorite, and I loved them, except their relationship was a train wreck. But that was my kind of, and I know again, a very, very long filmography before this happened. She was also the lead in Sell Your Haunted House, which is one of my all-time favorite K-dramas ever. She is a exorcist?
Mhm.
Is that the right word?
/realtor.
Realtor, as one is. The opening scene when she's like battling the demons and she's leaping over things. I'm like, I love her so much. And then her entire black wardrobe and how she would like stab her assistant every time. Like that was unexpected. Like there was just so much about it that was just so good. I mean, listen, Sell Your Haunted House is one of my all-time favorite dramas, and she led it and led it well. And so I just love her. I adore her.
I first saw her in Fated to Love You with Jang Hyuk.
Yes.
Which was, it's a really ridiculous storyline. One night stand, pregnant, they get married because he's a chaebol. But the two of them together, like top stars, they were just really good together, and they've got a new one coming out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they've got another one coming out. Yeah, I know. Everyone's like losing their minds. They're so excited.
I'm losing my mind.
I know. And then you also got do you remember The Last Empress? Like The Last Empress was bonkers. So good.
Stupid good.
Like stupid good. Like it made no sense. It was so stupid good.
No.
And she again anchors it in this reality that makes no sense.
No.
But you believe it.
Yeah.
Because she's so earnest, but not in that you're not in a way that you're just like, okay, that's enough. Like you totally believe that she's truly the last empress of Korea.
Right. With Shin Sung-rak.
Yes. And Jae Jin-hyuk, who had the magical haircut. Which
transformation,
and then decided not to be in. I'm not sure what the actual contractual thing was, but he wasn't in the last 4 episodes because everything took too long.
They kept extending it.
That's what it was. They kept extending it, and so he died in an explosion that was seen off camera.
Yes, it was. Oh my, which just indicative how ridiculous it was, but like it made perfect sense in this strange world. It was so,
and you believed every minute of it because it was Jang Doona.
Yes.
And so she's a delight.
Mm-hmm.
I just love her.
Yeah.
Yes, and her exorcist from Sell Your Haunted House. I would love to see them get a season 2. I don't know what happened, but that would make me so happy.
So my number one, but hold on because we're gonna have an extra in a moment. But my number one is HYUN.
Oh yeah, you've loved her since we started this.
She just, because I think I first saw her in Snowflower and The Secret Fan before I was watching K-dramas, which was a Hollywood film from the novel written by Lisa C. To have any Asian actresses, leading a story, it was a significant film. But in terms of K-dramas, when My Love from the Star and Legend of the Blue Sea, like 2 huge, massive titles. And just, she doesn't do a lot of K-dramas and she's very selective and she gets to work with the best of the best. But both of these roles, just particularly Legend of the Blue Sea, where the beginning where she could be in this fancy dress, but be completely off the wall. It seems like that's who she is, like gorgeous top model. And yet, with this really kind of wacky sense of humor and this physical comedy, she's really kind of unbeatable.
She's gorgeous and fun. Gorgeous. And Legend of the Blue Sea was of the 2. Mm-hmm. That's probably my favorite. Like I just thought it to be just so satisfying.
Right. With Lee Min-ho.
Yeah. Like there's just,
you could not get more beautiful and talented.
I will say my favorite that I've seen her in, and it was the very short one, but it was Kingdom season 2, the Ashen of the North. That's when I realized what a powerhouse actor she was.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Well, if you saw Assassination, the film, you would get a sense that, she's got a very long career. Also, Ilmer with Lee Jung-jae. Yes. And she was very young in it, but she's always been very talented. But yes, if you just saw Legend of the Blue Sea, then you would not realize what she could bring to something like Ashen of the North. So yeah, it's a revelation.
She was amazing in that. So good. Mm-hmm. We'll leave Jurisan where it was. She was good in it.
She was let down by that script, I think. Yeah. But I would also say if you want a really fun evening, watch The Thieves. It's a really good film. Everyone's in it. just watch it. It's good. It's good.
And one that's next to impossible to categorize because we just love her so much. It's Doona.
Doona.
Please. I adore her with just everything.
She's on our list here. Yes. Maybe she's on your list too, but we also have another podcast video just dedicated to her because our love for her is true and strong.
And deep. Like for me, came out of nowhere in Sense8. Mm-hmm. And she was amazing. Sun was the greatest character in Sense8 that I have ever seen. Yeah. She is a underground fight club badass by night. Yes. Chaebol daughter by day.
Right.
Psychically connected with 8 other people all the time. Like she was everything in Sense8.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction to Doona.
Oh my God. The Wachowskis knew what they were doing when they put her in this project because global superstar after that, right?
She's so fantastic, right? And she'd been in a few of their other movies, but that was for me really where it all came together. And then we started seeing her in dramas. Like, listen, the Stranger series.
Stranger 1 and 2. If you have not watched it, you need to because it's the crime procedurals, but like of a whole other level.
They take this one idea, and even though each episode, it's that idea of just a one through line with a procedural layered on top of it, and it was just so good. And her chemistry and relationship with Cho Sung-woo, they were perfect together.
They were. And thank you, a drama without a love relationship.
Yes.
They're just a partnership.
Yes, but it was the most magical partnership ever. Oh my God. And then season 2 came around and it took a minute to kind of get into it. But once you did, and I went back and rewatched it because I was like, by the time it ended, I was like, I feel like I missed a lot. And I went back and rewatched it and it's so good. Like there's so much there that you don't realize unless you rewatch it. And Doona's she's got that. She's like your best friend on one hand and she'll fight for you on another hand. And can you tell we just love her?
Yes.
Like I could talk about her all day. Like all day.
Even Matrimonial Chaos, which was a I don't even know how to describe that. For the
No.
number of times we've talked about this show, it's about marriages falling apart. And
But yet reconciling.
so it was an adult drama in that sense.
Mhm.
Just she's so good in it because you wouldn't think you would enjoy a show like that.
Right?
And yet we did.
We did.
Sansaku.
Oh, Sansaku. Oh my God, they reunited Sun and Moon. I was so happy. But I think part of it has to do with the Doona's acting style.
Mhm.
Again, it's very natural,
Mhm.
but she also there's this underlying fun
Yeah.
with everything she does.
Yeah.
Like even when she's super, super serious,
Right.
there's that little twinkle in her eye that she's like, she's gonna like own the situation.
Right.
And I love it.
And then we have Kingdom. Oh.
I mean, she was the smartest woman in the room. She was the smartest person in the room. Let me
In
rephrase that.
Joseon.
Just in general.
Joseon.
It was
Really
she
all
was she was just all of
the
them.
whole era.
Like the whole thing.
It was just her.
I just loved it. Her and Ji-Hoon's chemistry,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
taking down the zombie apocalypse.
The show was so much more than a zombie,
Yes.
death trap. It was historical, but she was smart and she played a doctor and she, could save herself and save everyone around her. And then Ji-Hoon trying to find himself as the king.
It was so satisfying.
It was so good. It was so good.
And then we got the pairing that we didn't, I think, knew that we wanted, but we got it. It was her and Gong Yu in the Silent Sea.
Oh my gosh.
Again, not romantic, but a partnership
Yeah.
that was hilariously fraught.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they don't do a lot of sci-fi in the Korean television and film industry, so it wasn't as good as I wanted it to
No,
be.
absolutely.
And it definitely lost its footing, and the pacing was a little odd, but then you're like, I'm watching Doona and Gong Yu on the moon.
Right?
I will watch every minute
I will
of
watch
this.
every minute of it. And then if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, if you watch all their like Netflix specials that they did,
Oh, yeah.
they were hilarious.
Yeah.
They were so competitive with each other. It was I loved it.
Yeah. Thank you, the
So
swoon.
great. Oh my
It's
God,
funny.
the swoon was
It's
fantastic.
funny.
So there it is. That is our lists of our top lead female actresses over
Mhm.
40. Let us know what yours are. Put them in the comments below. We can't wait to read yours. So until next time, we are the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa, and thank you for being part of this K-Drama Coffee Break. We'll see you next time.
Bye.